going? How's it been? Welcome to round two, day two of Limitless. I don't know about you, but after the sharings and what came through yesterday, it's been like all signs and synchronicities for me today. So let me know if anything's come through for you over the last 24 hours. I tonight we've got loads to get through, including the Limitless Framework, which I want to share with you, which is about how we come from just having this awareness into actually activating this divine blueprint that we all know that we have. So let me know in the chat what your biggest breakthroughs are so far. Let me get the chats out. And we pop out and let's just check we are live on Facebook. Mhm. Oh, that's yesterday. You know what happened yesterday? We went live and then it just disappeared. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. Can you all hear me loud and clear? Oh, there we are. Okay, so hey Abby, hey Janie, I can see you both here. Oh, I've lost signal. Can you guys see me here on Zoom? Oh no, nobody can see me. Mm. Have you got me on Zoom? Did I just freeze? Because you've all frozen. I'm frozen. One moment, please. Mhm. Okay, are we here? Are we back? Can you see me, hear me, feel me, know me? Am I here? Okay, thank you, Angie. You're either very still or I'm just frozen. You'll find this end. Okay, cool. Something's going on with Facebook and it is not showing. So if you are on Facebook, let me know. Because look, right now I'm like, I've got a gorgeous expression on my face. So see that? Isn't it lovely? They always pick the best ones, don't they? Right, while we're waiting for Facebook to come along, I also want to know if any questions came up for you yesterday or today, since yesterday. Please pop them in the chat because I will make sure that I answer them. Right, I wonder if I stop live stream and then restart live stream. Let's see if this works. Come on, Facebook. If any of you are in Awaken, you'll know that this is like my nemesis. Okay, here we go. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. Always goes live before you think. Hello, Facebook land. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Limitless Day 2. As I was just saying in the Zoom room, since yesterday and everything that we shared, I have been having a whole heap of downloads and synchronicities and like crazy stuff happening. It's quite interesting when we begin to activate this energy and we start to open up these lines of communication. Our soul, this divine blueprint that we were speaking about yesterday, like comes alive. Some of you were saying that it was spinning or it was sparkling or it was glittering. It's like it gets bigger and it expands and it gets more magnetic. And so those opportunities, those messages, those channels of connection just start to come more alive. And that's true as much for me as it is for anyone learning and anyone who does teach. You know that when we teach, we learn, right? And it never stops. It never stops. So yeah, today's been a lot of fun for me. One thing that I love to do, because like quite often when we're doing this work, we feel like it needs to be go, go, go. And actually, the biggest secret about actually allowing this work to work for us and to keep the momentum is having this flow and letting ourselves be in divine flow. So, where I am in the world right now, we have had the most beautiful sunshine. It's like spring has sprung. And so today I took myself out for a beautiful walk this morning, with the next to the lake and in the trees and in the woods. And I saw a man hugging a tree, a middle-aged man, right? I kind of walked past this tree and this man was there and he was like hugging this tree, right? And he looked so embarrassed when he saw me and he just sort of went like patted the tree at the end. And I was like, I love a tree hug, and then just walked away. And then I'm like, now I'm inspired to hug a tree. So I went and did it too. And so I love it when things like that happens. So Leslie said, I've had lots of reminders and inspirations. I've had lots of inspired moments and reminders of ideas that I didn't follow through and have been reminded. You know, one of the groups that I go to, one of the networking groups that I go to with amazing lady called Deborah, we were there a few months ago, and she said she's Italian, and I'm not going to do her accent because it's just I will fluff it. But she was like, "What is in the graveyard of ideas? What of those ideas that have been, and when they've landed in you, you've taken them and you've gone, oh, and then it's too big, or and then you haven't actioned on it. And so while we are going through this, maybe you've got something in mind. Maybe Leslie, you already know. I'd love for you to put in the chat what is in your graveyard of ideas. The thing that was in mine was a TED Talk. So there we go. I'm sharing for accountability. That was what was in my graveyard of ideas. It was I had a time about a year ago where I was applying for a few, and that just because it's big, but something drew me there. And maybe now, as I share the limitless framework, maybe that's what the TED Talk will be about. So Angie's writing a book. Any signs, synchronicities today around that? Maybe not yet. Yeah, yeah, I see. There's a few. Because what happens is as we're doing this work, we've got all of these different parts of us, right? So, yesterday we were speaking about this divine aspect and then the human aspect, if you like, the psyche, the ego, the human, because I think ego gets a bit of a bad rap. So let's call it the human. So we have the human and this divine aspect. And we can often feel like it's a battle. And many of you yesterday said that you felt that, and it's come across as feeling stuck or being exhausted or being confused. But from everything that I've learned, it's actually about bringing these aspects together. And rather than one of the inspirations that came through for me today was this understanding that what happens is we end up resisting the wrong thing. It's like we have this inspiration come through and then something happens, something tell us no, or the the tricky one does this, have this inspiration come through, this is an amazing idea. And then 25 other ideas come in, and then you're like, ah, and then you get like paralysis because you've got too many things coming in. And actually, that is another form of sabotage. That's another form of not allowing ourselves to stand in our own power fully. Because really I don't think we're meant to be just focusing on one thing, but really there's something in there that we want to take. And sometimes we can get so distractive and reactive, yes, about what is right in front of us and what we feel that we could be doing or should be doing, and we do that instead. When I was writing my book, for example, the book was wanting to come through. It was there, and I wrote it very quickly. I wrote it in just a number of weeks. And it took discipline. And it took me sitting down and opening my laptop and saying no to training, saying no to occasions, saying no to going out, saying no to the series on TV that was being watched. It took a discipline, but that discipline didn't necessarily mean it was hard. That discipline was simply me understanding that I was fueled. Now that resistance was there. Let's not, butter things up. That resistance was there. But what happens is we end up like resisting the resistance. Yes, we end up battling against it. We end up kind of um trying to override it or overcome it. And then we also end up resisting the desire. We end up giving ourselves all of the hundreds of millions of billions of excuses of why we can't do it. And so we're resisting, like we literally spend our times resisting. And what happens when we just resist? Nothing. Now, I spoke about this a few weeks ago, that actually when we think about resistance, it can be something very positive. Because when does resistance come up? If you think of an aeroplane, I have my aeroplane here. When my little aeroplane is sitting on the runway over here, it's just sitting on the runway. It's doing absolutely nothing. So this is me in my dormant phase. And then when my soul comes alive, and so my pilot is there, and my everything's loaded in, and the passengers are all on, and then I'm like, okay, we are ready for liftoff. Is that what they say? Take off, right? And we start to go and we start to move. And it's as we start to gain momentum that suddenly the resistance comes in, right? The wind resistance. And how does the aeroplane keep up? It keeps up and it stays up because of the resistance. Does this make sense? No resistance, just sitting here, plane looking gorgeous, all shiny, full of fuel, ready to go, all of the potential. But then as we start to make progress, we get met with resistance. And in our lives, that resistance can be, I don't know enough. Okay, so where are my gaps in my knowledge? I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so how do I get clear on what it is that I'm articulating? Nobody's listening to me. Well, how do I find myself in the right room? I'm not in the right circumstances. Okay, so what do I have that can help me? Right? And so we're using this resistance to actually get clearer, just like the aeroplane uses the resistance to help it soar at 30,000 feet. If there was no resistance, the plane wouldn't fly. And so if there's one thing that I want you to take away from today and from what we've done this week, is when resistance comes up, as it shows you that you're actually moving. And rather than trying to fight against it, which is a never-ending battle, what if we take it and we look at it and we go, hey, what is this limitation teaching me? What happens, just like the aeroplane, it's not just flying for the sake of flying, although sometimes it is, it's going somewhere, it's a destination. What's happening on the other side of that? Where's that amazing holiday to Thailand on the island? Having an adventure, what's happening on the other side? Is that drawing to us? In fact, one of my clients messaged me today and said, I want to go to Thailand. Have you got any advice? And I said, yes, it's a beautiful land. Connecting with the land and ask for it to call you in. Ask for it to call you in. There's something on the other side. What's going to happen when you're there? What are you going to enjoy? What are you going to become? What's happening on the other side, rather than what does happen when we want to go on holiday. Well, I want to go. Yep. I'm like, now I need to book the flights. Now I need to work it out. Now I need to see what we're going to do. Now I need to know the dates. Now I need to book the time of work. Now it's resistance, 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 resistance. And then it feels like this big mess. I'm going to put the knife down. It feels like this big crazy stress thing, when actually what we're doing is we're moving away. And so I'd love to take you through a practice today to help us see what's on the other side of our limitlessness. Our limitlessness. Yeah, that's the right word. Right. Let me just get your comments up here. So once again, before we get fully started, if you are here live on the Facebook group, let me know. Your comments will come up in just a moment. And I am still running the competition. So I've got about 12 of you, I think, in the competition now. So if you want to share it, I can see some of you here. Thank you. If you share it and just tag me in it, I will get a notification. I will put you in a list, and I'm going to be drawing one for today. So like this last 24 hours, and I'm going to be drawing another one for the next 24 hours. So all you need to do is share this video either with somebody that you think will love it, a group that you think will love it, or on your page and why you are loving it. And I will enter you in the prize draw. And I'm not going to do it live because it faffs around and it takes too long, but I will, maybe I'll do it as a reel. And I will pull one tonight for this last 24 hours, and I'm going to pull one for the next 24 hours. So one for video one for video two. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Shall we do a thing? Give me a one if you want to do a thing. Let's do a thing. Oh, hello. Other ones. Okay. So you can close your eyes down, or they can be open if that is more, if that feels better for you. If they are open, just a nice soft gaze into something that feels centering, relaxing. And just bring your hand onto your being, onto your body. And take a nice breath. Just allow yourself to be here and now. And I want to invite you to take your awareness back into this star, back into this six-pointed star. And just notice how it is today. Notice where, how, what this six-pointed star feels like today. And I just want you to bring your breath into it. Because as you bring your breath into this six-pointed star, you are fueling it. You are filling it up with all that you need, all that it needs. As you bring your breath into it, you are inviting this six-pointed star into your being, into your guidance. And I wonder what it will do for you if even you just intend simply that. If you intend that this six-pointed star forms your guidance system. This six-pointed star that we might know as our divinity, our divine blueprint. This six-pointed star that, as we discovered yesterday, contains our talents and our gifts. It contains our challenges and our fears. It contains our fate and our destiny. And it contains everything that we need, all of the resources, all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom, everything that we might need to get us to where it is that we are destined to be, our highest identity, our highest purpose, which includes the impact that we wish to create in the world, the connections that we are fostering, the relationships that are there for us, the abundance that's available, and of course, ultimately, the expression, how we are expressed, how we communicate, how we share, how we receive. Really, truly, the life of your dreams, the life that is limitless. The life where, when you have an inspiration, that you know it is for you, that it moves through your discernment and you feel that yes or that no. And as you feel that yes, you understand how you move through. You allow yourself to move through the activations, to take the steps, to receive the guidance, to create from this space of knowing, to share from a place of love, to communicate all that it is about and all that you are about, to envision it changing you and the world, to noting how it not only fuels and nurtures and inspires and enjoys you, and also how that has an influence in the wider world, the people that you know, the people that you're connected to, the animals, the plants, nature, earth, everything. And maybe you're aware that the six-pointed star that we know as our Merkaba, the light vehicle, indeed is the vehicle in which angels are known to travel. And if you believe, as I do, that we are all angels, this Merkaba can transport you and will transport you at will and at intent to wherever or whenever you feel guided to visit. And so today we are going to invite your Merkaba to transport you into this limitless future, this limitless version of you. Indeed, it's not even a future. It is a limitless version of you that is there now, that holds the courage and the bravery, that holds and receives the opportunities, that has the intuitive nudges and has the knowing of how to act upon them. And so we invite our Merkaba to transport us there, to our limitless self, and to land us in our limitless self's body, our limitless self's being, our limitless self's knowing, that limitless self who has and owns the same Merkaba, the same divine blueprint, the same soul as you. And as you land within her or them, I want you to notice, first of all, what they know about why you are here. You are here for a reason. What does this limitless version know about why you are here? Just allowing the words, the knowing, the understanding to download in the feeling of that knowing. Whether you understand through cognition, through words, as your Merkaba transports you into this limitless version of you. What do they know about why you are here in this incarnation, in this body, in this circumstance, in this situation, whatever it is? Begin to notice how this limitless version of you thinks about their fears, their doubts, and their limitations. How they have recognized those words and those thoughts those beliefs, those patterns, how they responded to them, what they know about them, how they now perceive these fears and these doubts and these limitations. Tune in now to their thoughts, to their energy, how their energy has shifted. What dominant thoughts are moving through their mind? What dominant thoughts are moving through their soul? Perhaps you can even get a sense of the pathways in the brain and the mind and how they flow and connect. And again, even if you do not understand, just let yourself tune in to their thoughts, their energetics, their flow, their meridians. Maybe you even notice how they breathe, how they sound. As you tune in to this limitless self, notice their intuition, their inner guidance system. Notice how they receive their intuition and notice how they act upon their intuition. How do they know that this is an intuitive thought? How do they receive these inspirations, these thought bubbles, these answers to someone else's prayers? What guides are around them? Where they receive this knowledge, this knowing, this depth from? Where do they feel it in their body or see it in their mind or hear it, know it, feel it? Perhaps you even notice their spiritual practice. How do they connect every day? How often do they connect to this greater aspect, this higher self, this higher wisdom, this higher purpose? What do they hold? What do they do? What are their habits? Notice what action they take. Notice what inspired action they have taken and how it looks, feels, sounds to be stepped into this limitless self. What are they doing? What have they achieved? How do people describe them? This limitless version of you. How are they disciplined? How is their faith? And what is their faith in? And let all of that be downloaded now into your divine blueprint. For every second that you have now spent tuning into that has informed and activated and reminded and remembered and recognized and rewired and realigned your soul's divine blueprint with your human mind. Notice now how that influences your star. Really get a feeling, a concept, a visual, knowing and understanding of your star. Feel it, really get a sense of this star now. And allow it, if you can, to fully encompass your being, your physical body, your energetic body, your heart, your mind, your action centers, your creative centers, your root, even your earth star and your soul star. Let them all imagine, see, envision that they all come into alignment now within this star, all singing from the same hymn sheet, all aligned to the same desires. And let that move all the way up through your highest chakras into your highest self, your highest evolution, your guidance team, your evolution team. To what you know as all that is. And let that move down, all the way down into the earth, through the earth's layers, and all the way into the center of the earth. So that the earth responds to this. The earth that holds you and guides you unconditionally every single day is also aligned, as well as your guides and the collective, all together, guiding you here. And then ask yourself this: what is one step that I can take? One step, the next step, the now step, this moment step, so that I can ensure that this part of me continues to lead the way again and again and again. One step. Let it be shown to you, felt to you, downloaded. And trusting that you have received all that you need to receive today. Take this star and begin to breathe it back into you. Breathe it back into you until it is housed within or just around your body. Let it click into the place so that you can feel protected and connected and grounded, and that you can be open for the rest of this experience today, and certainly moving on for whatever you have to do today, this evening. And so breathe and let that breath bring you fully back into this space, into this time, into this now moment. And I would love to invite you when you return to let us know, first of all, what your next step is. I would love to know I will keep you accountable. What is the next step? If you are just joining us on Facebook, I know some of you joined, we had another glitch. So I know some of you joined midway through. Welcome, welcome. You can always go back. I will re-share this meditation in its entirety because I know it cut off in Facebook land. So if you are in Facebook land and you didn't get to receive all of that, let me know your biggest breakthrough from yesterday. So show up and be visible was Leslie's. Well, I saw you even start doing that today, actually. You joined halfway through the meditation. That is okay. Did you receive any steps? It's fine. Like these things, I do not believe in coincidence. I always believe in divine timing. But it wanted to come through straight away. I normally wait a little while, but it was just there and it wanted to come through. Jane, good evening, Jane. Your next step is to trust. Okay, so I want you, all of you, so Leslie, show up and be visible. Jane, trust, rise. Think you're a bit psychic, Stacia. I'll tell you in a minute. What does that mean? What's something that you can do? What is a step? What is a physical human step? A human thing that you can do. Now, it could be, let's say you had this big vision of writing a book, because a couple of you told me that. It could be scheduling the time to do the book. It could be getting a course on how to write a book. It could be reading a book on how to write a book. It could be opening your laptop and just start writing. It could be making a plan. It could be speaking to your friend or your mentor who has written a book, right? So the step isn't always, it isn't always obvious. It could be going and get your hair done. It could be going and having a bath. It could be. So I did a similar process the other day. Those of you in Soul Space, I think it was in Soul Space, I spoke to you about it. And I received a guidance that said, write, not a book, not a post, not an answer to this question, just write. The actual words were right before you write. I'm not gonna just double my workload, thanks. Right before you write. And do you know it was the best advice? It was the best advice. So like before I put this together, I just wrote out everything. I wrote everything out, just what was in my head, whether it was going to come into this workshop or not. I just wrote everything out, like not as a anything. And then I was like, oh, like things were coming in. I was like, oh, I wouldn't have thought that just off my head. It might have come out in a channel. And then yesterday in the class, as I shared with you what I wrote down on my thing, it was different. But actually looking back, there was a lot of what I had just kind of free written had come out, right? Because our channel, if we think about, we've spoken a lot about the limitations, the resistance, right? The kind of blockage. Because if we're talking about being limitless, we have to acknowledge that there's been that's our like our blueprint, right? To rise and to become. And actually, if that's there and that's available to us, then there must be some form of blocks, resistance, doubts. There's something that's stopping us from getting there. Like the sky's the limit or the rooftop's the limit, right? Where's the limit there? There's something that we're gonna hit against. And so it comes to reason that we have to acknowledge these in order to be limitless, right? And so what's happening if we start to see these as how can I describe this? If we start to understand that our limitless potential is to do with this, right? This up and down connection, this highest self, this highest wisdom connection, and our connection in with the earth. Those of you that were in Awaken when we did the quantum alignment technique. If you haven't done it, let me know. I can share with you the meditation. So this up and down, right? This highest self and this and the Mother Earth. As we bring this alignment in, well, then there's going to be blocks, if you like, that are stopping us receiving all of this stuff. And they come in the forms of those the self-sabotaging thoughts, the limiting beliefs. And actually, the more that we can actually acknowledge them and become them and do those processes that I've shared in the group, the rewiring, the acknowledging that it is possible, yes. And they weren't just fun tasks, they're all helping you move into what it is that you're becoming. Well, that channel to this guidance that we can receive frees up because it all uses the same channel. It's not like the block there and the guidance is there. And so we're fighting against it. It is this, or actually, it's more this, right? We're moving, we're using these blocks and these resistance, we're understanding, we're integrating them. We're not like some of them will release, some of them aren't ours. That's another thing for another day. We sometimes take on other people's stuff and they've got nothing to do with us. A good one for that is I release everything that is not mine. And it's, and do it now. Just do it. Everyone do it now. Say it out loud. Put your hands on your heart, one on your belly. Take a breath. I release everything that is not mine. I release all emotions that are not mine. I release all programmings that are not mine. I release all ideas that are not mine. I release all that is not mine. Notice how you feel now. Let me know if it's changed anything. So sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's just we've accumulated other people's crap. It's in our field. We get rid of it. You can do something like that daily. But the stuff that is ours, it's as we were discussing yesterday, it's there to be recognized. And if you think about the semantics of the word recognize, is recognize. Yeah, recognizing my cognition. I'm rethinking, I'm re-knowing, I'm re-understanding what it is. I'm recognizing it. And it starts with recognizing it. It starts with going, okay, that task that I gave you last night, yes, which was everything that's coming up in your mind, write it all down. And then look, I had a conversation with some of you, like, what's the opposite? It doesn't have to be the polar opposite, but it has to be a um let me see um if I can find those. So um these are some that I was speaking to one of you earlier about. It is possible that I'm healing and growing every day. It is possible that these past experiences make me stronger. It is possible that all I have been through will help me help others. It is possible that I am a good person and that these circumstances were reminding me of all that I am not. It is possible that now is my time and that freedom is coming. It's possible I'm getting better every day. The more I learn about myself, the more I love about myself. Right? And all of those come from understanding, from recognizing what the story we're telling ourselves is. Now, you can write those down and they might be perfect for you, but I encourage you to find your own. If your thing is, I'm a bad person, and that's what you find goes round in your head, what is the other thing? I'm getting better every day. Yeah. It is possible that I'm always improving. It is possible that somebody out there loves me. Yeah, I'm unlovable. It's possible that somebody out there loves me. Yeah, as we create them for ourselves, we are recognizing and we're creating our own affirmations in a way that our body won't reject it. It is possible. Okay, let me read these. Okay, I saw all the connections as animals. I work with and connects to many more, and the exponential growth from that. Amazing. My star was dark and spinning anti-clockwise, whereas yesterday it was gold and spinning clockwise. It did change to a shining gold after speaking with my future self. I needed to get a better routine for my business. And this is the thing, like this is the truth, right? When we do exercises like this, we are recognizing where we are. And we're being truthful with ourselves. We're like, okay, like this is where I am today. Because even though this incredible thing is here, and when we're connected with it, we're like, oh, this is amazing. Life's so good. Everything's there for me. This is amazing. And then we forget. And then like life, and then all the things happen, and all the stuff, and it's normal and it's usual, and this comes with this discipline, this comes with accountability, this comes with what's important, this comes with knowing what's on the other side of this, right? Because what happens is we get guided by the past. So this exercise that we just did, where you saw what your limitless self is doing, is actually telling your psyche it's all right, we're going to be all right on the other side of it, because we small self, we will do everything in our power to not go to the unknown, whereas our soul's going, whoopee, let's go to the unknown, it's going to be amazing, right? But we don't know because we don't trust it yet. And this is why we need to cultivate our trust. And our way to that is through our spiritual practice. And that's it. It is that simple. Our way to this, our way to our limitless life is through our spiritual practice. Our way to this golden shining star, this way to this exponential growth, this way to what is possible for me, this way to belief, this way to abundance, this way to receiving, this way to, I've lost my, to trusting your intuition, your steps, your choices, all comes through our spiritual practice. I'm sorry to say. But I'm not, because our spirit, you can see some of your faces, you're like, oh, damn it. But please, I shared with you yesterday, my spiritual practice doesn't look like other people's spiritual practice. My spiritual practice is this. My spiritual practice is, oh, look at that. I've got a thought come in that's not very nice. What can I do with that? I tell you that since I've been doing this, which has been about 4 years, yeah, I started doing this practice, those thoughts get less and less. Sometimes they come and they bite me in the bum, and I'm like, oh, I believe you. Sometimes it happens. Like, we're human. We're meant to have all of these different emotions, but they come less and less, and they're less nasty, and they're less debilitating. Your spiritual practice, as I began to share yesterday, can be so many different things. It doesn't have to be one way. And I don't teach it one way. I teach it in, let's find that thing that brings you joy. Let's recognize, let's remember who we are. Let's start with that. Let's start with remembering that we are a soul. My journey for that was, I live a soul-led life. That cute little catchphrase that I said one day in a class, I live a soul-led life. And my soul went, ooh. And then it threw me all these challenges, and all the resistance was coming up. And I was like, I don't want to take off, but I want to take off. And it's turbulence. And I was like, oh my God. I want to live a soul-led life. My soul went, okay, you do? Well, here's some stuff that wants to come up for you. Here are those things that are stopping you. Here are those beliefs that you need to go through. Here are those talents that you need to strengthen. Here is the courage and the bravery that you need to fight the demons that come up from that. Here are the incredible practices that you can do. Here are the 100 card decks that you can buy. Here are all the crystals that will help you get there, and the tinctures and the things. Here are the beautiful sunny days, and here are the storms that you can battle, or that you can hunker down against. Right? It's all of it. But one thing, all of the things that I've done, and people often say to me, Melissa, you're really brave. I don't know how you do it. You're so brave. Like I wish I could do what you do. And that's where I was. It's like I wish I could do what I do. There was then I wished I could do what I could do now. But it comes from this communication, this spiritual practice, this every day, somehow, somewhere, every day, connecting in with my higher wisdom and knowing, and it's a knowing, it's not a belief, it's now, it's not a belief, it's not a faith, it's not a think, it's a knowing that my spirit will not lead me wrong, even if I'm terrified. It will not lead me wrong, and it won't lead you wrong. It might lead you down something that's challenging, but you've got everything that you need to overcome it. The fear of fear itself is the one of the biggest limitations that we put upon ourselves. There's been nothing that's been thrown at me that's wiped me out. And actually, if you look back at your life, there's nothing that's been thrown at you, right? You're still here. There's nothing that's been thrown at you that you didn't know how to get through. And, and as we cultivate these strengths, which comes in, we spoke a bit about authority yesterday, which comes with trusting the authority that is ourselves, the sovereignty that we have, the ideas that come to us, the higher wisdom, trusting that higher, knowing that I have it, knowing that that soul is there guiding me, guiding us. That's where it begins. And then taking the other stuff, the human stuff that we have accumulated, certainly over our life, through our parents, through our caregivers, through community, through people we've worked with, through our friends, our family, the collective unconsciousness, and through our lifetimes, which wounds I'm pretty sure everybody here, if you're here and you're watching this, have somewhere somehow held that, because I do believe our generation are here to heal that. It's been 100 years or so since we could be tried under the Witch Act. Not that long ago, but it's not there anymore. And we're the ones that are changing that. And it happens by us doing the thing. It happens by me going live on Facebook and talking about this in front of the world on my public profile, not behind closed doors anymore. And that was a journey. And if you were there at the beginning of my journey, and some of you were, it wasn't this. It was, oh, we're going to do it behind the door. We're going to meet in the little Zoom room and it'll be fine. Right? We're going to go in the little shop down the road. And I remember the first time that they put I used to work in this little shop, gorgeous shop, Wings of Light. And one day they put my photo on a flyer on the door. And I'm like, and my father-in-law goes to the church round the corner. He's like, oh, I saw you and the thing. And I'm like, what did I advertise? It was like I can't even remember, like maybe a witch thing, maybe a crystal thing, I don't know. And there it was. And last year I did some work with the local library. And there's this big, massive board with a massive face on it locally. And people are like, oh my God, you're the crystal lady. And I'm like, hi. Like the mums at school, I saw your thing in there. I'm like, hi. Right. And it's one by one, it's day by day. But how I go through that and how I keep on doing it and how I keep allowing myself to step up, to write every single one of my experiences and thoughts in my book and just release it out into the world. It came from understanding that I have these intuitive channels. It came from understanding that I have this guidance system and knowing it and then trusting it and then acting on it. And don't think for one moment that all of those thoughts that all of you have shared with me that you have going on in the background don't exist in this. They do exist in this, but they're not running the show. And that's what a spiritual practice can do. But what do we do? When I said this is your spiritual practice, is the thing that's going to get you all went, I don't want to do it. Right? So that that is what we need to do. Remember, we are here for a reason. Step one. You are here for a reason. I was looking into recently, I'm going there, the origin of man and woman, and it wasn't Adam and Eve, and it wasn't from the monkeys. There's a lot of research that has been done, but the fact that we humans are here and that we have evolved the way that we have has now been shown that we aren't here by chance, that it wasn't that like one day we went from Neanderthal and turned into a human being. It looks like the evidence is now suggesting that there was some manipulation. And they found this through chromosome 2, that there was a fusing of chromosome 2. So if you did you see that? So chromosome 2 is like our biggest chromosome, and it's determines the things that make us human. Yeah, compassion, the way that we speak, empathy, like all the things that kind of differentiate us from other animals and other mammals. And it looks like one day, or like in a really small period of time, that this chromosome, it was two chromosomes, and then one day it became one. Now, I was talking to someone about this, and they wonder if it might have come from the mushrooms. I don't know, but I'm like, that could be true. And I will leave you to ponder that and look into that if you want to find out more. The What's the book called? I don't know. Look up Greg Braden, look up some of his work. He's done some incredible work on it. If you want to do that. But my point is not this. My point is not let's throw that out the window. My point is that we are here for a reason. And evidence is starting to show that humanity is here for a reason. So if that's true, so like one day suddenly there was human on this earth, which by the way, the chances of Earth being habitable planet is like basically zero. It's like 0.0000. I think it's about 25.01% chance of Earth being in that Goldilocks space. Right? So first of all, we have Earth, then we have us. We're human, and then we have us. If you think about even just going back 10 generations, how many ancestors you have to have got you here. How many thousands of people had to have their love story, had to move through adversity, had to get through life and move through poverty and move through war and move through, hardship and meet from other sides of the world. Anyone who's had their ancestry lineage test done, and you're like, I'm 1% this and 20% this, like, we didn't have planes then. How did these people get together? It's amazing. And then here we are with our unique design in this space, in this time, right now. Why do you think you were put here? In fact, put that in the chat. Why do you think you were put here? We've gone deep. I've spoken about the origin of man. You can give me why you think you were put here. Um, right, I'm just going to read some of these. So yesterday you received a crown. It's still on me today. It looked like the one on Kyle Gray's manifestation card. Beautiful. And the card deck that I will author. So now you have a book and a card deck, Nancy. Incredible. It's the discipline part of the spiritual practice that's the hardest for me. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Let me see, Mira. This is beautiful and heartwarming. Thank you, Mira. I dedicate some of my precious time to spiritual practice. Incredible. I admire the way you went live yesterday. It was so tranquil, peaceful, and soulful. You're welcome. I'm here for a reason. We are all here for a reason. Yes. There's a quote that states it's like 1400. Funnily, I went to look up my ancestors last night. Isn't that funny? We were talking about what we were talking about, and you had that urge to do it, and we can connect. Um, oh, okay. We incarnated during this time to help with the ascension. I think that. I was told in meditation that I'm here for knowledge and answers. That a master incarnation, Andrea, so lots of past life to be alchemized and cleared, certainly for many of us. We are here for source to express ourselves through our experiences and feelings. We are. And those and our source of our expression of source will all be different. It's meant to be different. We're not all meant to be robots doing the same thing. And this is the thing for me, certainly when I'm teaching spiritual practice and spiritual concepts, that there is no right way. There's your way, and there's frameworks, and there's good history that we can draw upon, and there's evolution. I think I've got place for all of that, honoring where we've been, honoring what we've come from, honoring, the incredible work that has been done before us, and evolving and moving and creating and ascending that. Um, I think it's all of it. To bring new thoughts and ideas into my little piece of the world. I love that. When I've meditated before, I've received that I'm here to help heal people's minds, subconscious minds, which I got to be through hypnotherapy. Now, I was at a retreat this weekend, a business retreat, and something was very interesting. As we were kind of creating the offers and the messages and what we were doing, it was almost like as the weekend went on, it was like everyone had this realization, everyone had this same realization. Like, well, it's kind of like what I needed 10 years ago. It was so funny. We were like, funny that, isn't it? It was like, it's just like what I went through 5 years ago. And I'm going to help. And I'm like, funny that. It's funny that, isn't it? Like everyone, and we were in like different niches. There was, somatics. There was a doctor. There was someone in PR. There was like there was all of these different. It wasn't just spiritual people or people doing having spiritual businesses. It was all sorts of people, and it's like, isn't that interesting? That those of us that go on to this entrepreneurship journey, which isn't for everybody, um, but had those things not have happened, would we be doing the things that we're doing? Probably not. Mira, compassion is my superpower. That's why I'm here to make a positive impact on other people's journeys. I promise you this, the best way that you can make a positive impact on other people's journeys is to listen to your soul, because our small self, our ego self, our human self, all it believes in is separation. All it thinks is, I'm me, I'm survival of the fittest. I am, it's competition, it's me versus you. And that's its default. And so all of us, here who are like, no, it's here for this, that, like that's your soul talking. That is your soul talking, that other voice. When we rely on our small self is just going to keep us in separation, which, bless it, it doesn't always make the best decisions. Um, I want to come back to Nancy's question or statement. And she said it's the discipline. Who else feels that? Give me a one in the chat. If discipline, I know all the spiritual practices, but the discipline is just because I'll tell you what, the small self, brilliant. It knows exactly what it needs to do to keep itself safe, because if we don't give it direction, it will just go, like I was saying yesterday, it will just run amok, right? And it will give you all of the reasons why not. It will give you the distraction. all of these temptations, scrolling too long on Facebook, sitting and watching Netflix, tuning in to like the circus act that is the news. Yeah. Going into idle gossip because it's a way of bonding with people, going into the lowest common denominator in the room because it's tempting, anyone who's been on a diet knows, yeah, eating the foods that just aren't good for us, sitting instead of moving, right? Like all of the things, but then we know when we do it, something happens, right? And for me and how I got over that, because trust me, I'm like easy life. You ask my mum when I was little, I'm like, if I could find the easy route, I would find the easy route. And this isn't always the easy route. So for me, it came in my mentors. For me, it came in my communities. For me, it came on who is holding me when I can't hold me. And so I had that people and persons and peers who would keep me accountable, who'd show me practices, who would also show me different ways. Like the day that I found my card deck, and I'm like, this is amazing. And it's a moment of connection. How many of us have bought a million crystals thinking that you see the little tag, don't you, on the thing, and it goes, this is for an aromatherapy. I am safe, grounded, and so very strong, right? And you're like, I want to be safe and grounded. I'm going to buy the crystal. You buy the crystal, and you get it home, and then you're like, I still don't feel safe. I still don't feel grounded, and I definitely don't feel strong today. And then the crystal just sits there, and then you go and buy another one and another one and another one. And it's like, and nothing's changed. Yes, it happened. Like, I speak from experience. I have a cave. Andrew, you've been here. I have a cavern of crystals that I sit within. This is just one. Like I've literally got crystals like all around me. Anyway, they're doing a nice little job here. Can you see that little, my little crystal? They're doing a job. I put them to use for me. This comes with the knowing that this isn't just. I mean, let's be honest. Who has ever felt and wondered, is this true? Is this real? Is this right? Is this actually going to work? Is this going to do anything? Am I just wasting my time? And when we activate this soul, when we come from that space of that divine blueprint, it all changes. The weighting changes. Yeah. The Before I'm running something, I'll create a crystal grid. One, it brings me into a meditative space. Two, it really gets me to tune in. Three, come on, they're so beautiful. It gives me a joy, right? And then when I have that there, I'm asking it to hold the space for me so that I don't have to hold everything. It forms part of my support system. And so this is a combination of knowledge. I've learned a lot about crystals. I've done many a crystal training, and many I used to do crystal healing a lot. I've sat with many crystals. I even created a whole crystal modality once upon a time. Um, I co-created one, I should say, and so that they're here and so there's this knowledge. Yeah, there's the theory, there's the practices, there's the best practice, if you like. There's the belief, there's the intuition, there's the overcoming oh, this is just a waste of time. Why do I think that? Yeah. There's the space that I create, the discipline. Well, I'm going to take half an hour or whatever it is to create and do this before as part of what it is that I'm doing. And it all comes together. And it didn't happen overnight. Natalie says she has discipline, but it's direction. It's all of it. And so this is the 5-part framework. I want you to write these things down. I will share it in the group. And then I have got an offer that I want to share with you. So part 1, this is the remembering. And this is the star. You've all connected with your star. Yes, you know it's there. This is the divine blueprint. Remember that you are here for a reason. Step 1, I am here for a reason. Now don't forget that. The chromosomes, the earth, all of the ancestors, me, my human design, the stars aligned. I was born, I went through this, I've got these desires. Everything's here for a reason. There's no coincidence. And that reason is me. And as you all said, to express, to have impact. Yes, to um, be compassionate, to search for knowledge and answers, to help with the ascension, to alchemize karma, to express ourselves through experience. All of that. Okay. Step 2, recognize. Yes. These are your fears. These are your doubts. These are your limitations. These are your stories. All of the things that you were. All of the things when someone goes, oh, you're so amazing. And you're like, no, when I was younger, I stole a banana out of a grocery shop and I'm such a bad person. So no, I'm not good. I'm sure it's all happened to the best of us, right? And understanding that this happened and what did it teach us and how did it learn us and what's it driving us to? And if everything was happening for a reason, what is that higher reason? Yeah, recognize that task I gave you last night is one of the most powerful things you will ever do for yourself. Every single thing that you think that is sabotaging you, that every one of those horrible thoughts, those intrusive thoughts, those limitations, that I'm not very nice, that I'm not good enough, that I'm too small, all of that, you write them all down, you see them. Somebody messaged me earlier and said, you know what? Even just writing them down has helped me see them differently. You're taking the energy, you're taking the power away. You're going, all right, you think that I'm a nasty person? Fine. And then you let that soul, I remember why I'm here. God did not create you because you're a horrible person. I promise you. He's like, she's special too. She's a one of me. God, the universe, whatever you, right? Spirit. So recognize, rethink your fears, see them in a new light. See them through the light of your soul. If they were here for a reason to help my soul, what would they be? That's your question. And then we shift it. So now we come into rewiring. This is how, when we shift our energy, this is when we allow ourselves to be guided by the higher thoughts. This is when we have created these new affirmations, these new thoughts, and we repeat them to, and I say, it is possible that I can have the life of my dreams. And we say it out loud and we feel it in the body and we feel if it's a truth yet. And if it's not, then we work on that and we do the healing, we regulate the nervous system and we clear the karma and we cut the cords and we work with the angelics and we change our spirit guides and we like there's a that I was working out the other day. I was trying to work out the other day how many interventions I have in my pocket. And I have well over 100. I think the number is more like 300. Some of them cross over through my psychotherapy, through my energy work, through my crystal healing, through the Reiki practices, through the Akashic records, through my shamanic work, all of it. It's like there's so many things that we can do and they all work in different ways. And they're all incredible in their own way. Okay, so remember, recognize, rewire. Okay, and then realign. So rewire and realign are where things get a little bit tricky. So the realign is about strengthening your connection and strengthening your intuition. Because this soul If you imagine that this soul is constantly magnetizing opportunities, right? Remember I said yesterday about the bubble and it will come in and it will land on the thing and yeah. Remember us talking about that? That's always there and that's always happening. We're either looking for it and accepting it or we're turning away. And so as we strengthen our connection with this aspect, with our divinity and with our highest wisdom and with earth, our support system, and the senses that we have that interpret those for us, we begin to realign actually what's pulling us forward, the place that we're making decisions from, the actions that we're taking, the way that we're speaking, where we're going to for guidance. And then the final one, Stacia, this one's for you, is to rise. The final one is to rise. Take inspired action. That's the scary bit. That's like, I know I have to do it. Take inspired action and step onto your highest path. Now I've got all the thing. I know I'm here for a reason. I've rewired my fears. I've shifted my energy. I'm receiving the guidance. I know exactly what crystal to put out and what decision to make and what thing to say and who to say it to and when to say it. And then it's like, no, I've got to go and do it. And you open your laptop and you start writing the book. You open your Facebook and you allow yourself to be visible. You contact the surgery and say, hey, I'm a hypnotherapist and I've got this incredible thing that I can do for your patients. Can I leave some flyers there? You speak to your partner and you tell them what's going on your mind and how you want to be supported and nurtured. You reach out to the personal trainer and you're like, you know what, I'm ready. And even if I go to the gym and I look like a whatever, because we're coming from that place. I'm going to the yoga class, even though everyone there is going to be able to put their leg around their head. And I'm just going to be like, I can't even do a down dog. Right? We do it because we trust ourselves, because we know we're here for a reason. Every single step, they align to each other. And let's acknowledge it's not easy. The discipline, the direction, it's not easy. It is easy. And we've spent the last however many years rewiring to the opposite. And so that is where I come in. And if you're like, you know what, Melissa, I know I'm here for a reason. And you know what, I've had a breakthrough. And in these 2 days, I'm like, yes, I know. And now I want. You can do it on your own. And you can keep coming back to this video. Although Facebook will take it down in 30 days now. Do you know that? You can come back to your notes and you can come back to your six-pointed star. And you can. And if you look at yourself and you think, yeah, but I won't, Mel. I won't because I never have. Because that's what we do. We've all done it. We have all been in workshops and been like, that's amazing. And then 3 days later, we're like, I don't even no idea. I don't know who I am. It was all just a load of nonsense, right? And where I come in is I provide you with that support. I provide you with that mentorship. I provide you with that accountability. I provide you with the resources of how to create the crystal grid and how to connect in with which crystals to buy and not buy, how to connect in with your cards, how to create a practice, when to use them, which angelics to come in, when spirit guides aren't helpful and when they are helpful, how to navigate through this inner working, how to rewire the mind and the energetics and to regulate the nervous system and to be there when actually life starts lifing and we're like, but Melissa, this feels so to do. And I'm there. And there's different ways to work with me, but right now the best way to work with me is through my membership Soul Space. I've opened the doors for the first time in well, since the summer, unless you're in Awaken. I've opened the doors for the first time. We've just got some incredible new members have come in. The energy in there is beautiful at the moment. And I'm there for you through our coaching calls. We have live calls. You come and you bring this stuff to me every month. Mel, this is what I'm going through. Mel, I've tried doing this and it's not working. I know that I've got this book in me, but nothing's happened yet. What do I do? I've, I don't know. I'm going through this thing at work. I'm going through this thing at home. I'm going through this thing with my practice. I'm not enjoying my meditation anymore. What can I do? Or I've got this card deck and I love it and I want to use it more. And I'm like, "Oh, I've got this amazing resource in there." And how Soul Space works is we have this absolute incredible library. Those of you in Soul Space, yeah, they gotta love the library. There are over 100 trainings in there, meditations, activations that activate your energy, that do this rewiring, that do these recognizing, that do this connection strengthening, that help shift your energy. That's all in there. And we have these workshops, these masterclasses, which are there to help develop your skills and to find the thing that you really want and to get really good at it and to dip your toes into the guides or the angels or the star beings or the channeling or the law of attraction or there's so much in there. Stacia said that's exactly why you joined Soul Space. Life had started lifing. This is a membership that's not just, oh, come and learn about the blah, blah, blah. This is your soul support system. And this that we've connected in today will help you remember who you are as a soul. Because that's my thing. If you ask me, like, what's your spiritual, what do you do? It's like this soul purpose, this divinity, this divine blueprint. My job, I think, here on earth is to help people come in to their highest identities over and over again and to keep on acting from that. Because I know that when we're all doing that, I know my prayers will be answered easily. So I'm doing it, from my point of view as well. I also know that when I pass, I will be a spirit guide. So I want to make sure that your intuition is on point. So I can be like, hey, do this. And you're like, I get it. So I don't have to chuck feathers at you all of the time. So I think that's also part of my purpose. Through my psychotherapy training, I can help you literally recognize. Like literally, that's part of my skill base of how to work neurologically with what we're doing, how to work emotionally with what we're doing, and how to work energetically with how to activate this divinity in us. I can help you rewire who you are, who you're becoming, those sabotaging patterns, those things that have been holding you back, those things that are like, not today, Sheila. I don't know who Sheila is. I can help you receive that message as part of Soul Space. One of the bonuses I'm offering is the Conscious Channel, which is a 12-week program, which is there uploaded in your library that will literally talk you through how to channel and connect with different beings so that you can just receive that information. So that when you're sitting in your traffic jam and you're like, "Whoa, it's so annoying," then you're like, hold on a minute, I'm a channel. I can channel. And then you can start to get information, and it might tell you to turn left or right, or to go back, or to meditate, or to get some Reiki hands going on. If you're by the way, if you have a business, or you're working on your business, I do have a VIP option. There's 2 places left where you get an extra call, and we've got a dedicated WhatsApp group, and we go into anything business. We just had our call on yesterday. Oh my God, we were talking about there was someone new came in and I'm like, you're gonna think we're all nuts. We were talking about like aliens and ants, and we were talking about strategy and launching. and we were talking about someone's just finished and written her book, and we had a beautiful celebration for her. Like, this is the thing. It's not like a one trick pony. It's a support mechanism for you. And so if you want to join Soul Space, I have opened it up. It is open until Sunday. And I was thinking about the people in this group and what it is that we need. And so there's two things that I want to offer you if you want to join us. And if you join by Sunday. So one is my Witch Wound workshop. It's my Akashic Records Witch Wound workshop. It's one of the most powerful things that I have ever offered. And still, I've never felt to re-record it because it was so potent. So that is there as my gift for you. And it will help you heal that witch wound. So that's there available for you. The conscious channel is also available for you. And if you come in either as a VIP or if you come as an annual member, I've got another Akashic Records training that I'd love to offer you, which is perfect for this. It's called Know Your Path. I'm going to be running it live this month. And you'd be invited to come in and you have lifetime access to the training. On top of that, in Soul Space, you have got Angelic, one of my favorite workshops about the truth about working with the angels. It was like life-changing. You've got Vibe. When I had people like, I have been on Esther Hicks's courses, I have read all the books, and like this has finally landed for me. This is all about how to actually work with the law of attraction through our emotions, through our energetics, like how it really works so that you can change your life. You also have Oracle Card Mastery, which, as it sounds, is how to actually read Oracle cards without the book. And there's hundreds in there. I'm not going to go through. There's Akashic Records trainings in there. Um, there's so much. But really, on top of that, like that's all a bonus. You have me walking alongside you like every day. I'm there, I'm in the group, I'm there on the coaching calls, I'm there doing a class every month, and we have some incredible guest experts come in. So the price of your membership really is for the live aspect, and then you get all this bonus stuff as well. One of the questions I get asked, but Melissa, how many hours? Because this sounds a lot. I just recommend that you put aside around 4 hours a month, and you'll get the value out of Soul Space. And if you've got 4 hours a week, there's stuff in there for you to do. If you've got 4 hours a day, there's stuff in there for you to do. My members tell me that some of the meditations they do every day, and it's just, if you like my voice, it's just me talking. And taking you through these activations. So that is there and that is available, and that is all I'm going to be saying about Soul Space tonight, because for you, if you think that this is you, you'll feel it. You will feel it you will feel it. That star will be like, yes, do it. And if that's the case, come and do it. And or talk to me. If you want to talk to me, just send me a message. If you want to speak to one of my members and ask them what it's like, let me know and I'll put you in touch with somebody. They would be they'd be happy to speak to you. Um, it's one of my favorite things, and it's the best value way of you working with me also right now. Stacia said, your meditations have been my life support as I've been caring for my dad. You know, and this is what we need. And Soul Space for me was one of those inspirations. It's like, this is what I needed. Remember what I said, what we needed 10 years ago, 5 years? This is what I needed. And I couldn't find it. There was nowhere out there on the internet that had that personal touch, that had that community aspect, that had that way of just learning everything. I'm a geek. I'm the biggest geek, and I teach, like, it's my joy to share it. It's my absolute joy. And this is where all the stuff goes, where I'm like, I've learnt this thing and I need to put it somewhere. We learn techniques as well. in there. So if you're doing healing, you'll start to build up your technique library. And everything I share in there is yours for you to use with clients. I was speaking to one of my old clients the other day who's here, and I said to you, anything I've shared with you, it's yours. Like, you use it. Like, this is what it's there for. It's there to move. So if you want to upskill, if you want to update, if you want to, you know, the thousands of pounds and hours that I have spent on techniques and spiritual development, I've compressed into one space. So if you want to, I'm collapsing all of that for you. Another one of my members like, I go with you because you collapse all the time. I don't need to do a 4-year psychotherapy diploma. I'll come to you and you'll give me the best bits, because that's what I do, is I integrate all of that. Jamie's just joined. Stacey's just joined. I'm not looked at a lot yet as my energy's been off, but what I've done, it's been so helpful. But this is the thing, we're not one of those high vibe communities. It's like you come in as you are. We've got a dedicated space where if you're like, I need healing, I'm going through this, whatever. Um, can I have some help? Can I have some support? We'll send healing. You've got somebody there to listen to you. There's a lot there, and I'm happy to speak to any of you about it if you want to come and join. Jacqueline said, these 2 days have been very grounding for me. I live in Brisbane and we are expecting a destructive cyclone to make landfall tonight. We could lose power and water for several days, but I don't feel as apprehensive as I may have if I hadn't been here the past few days. Jacqueline, I'm getting emotional. That it means the world, but and this is the thing, this knowing that it's okay, and it's okay to be scared, and we're going to be okay. And even with this, there's ways of working with the storm. I had clients in California, yeah, with the fires recently. Um, I've had clients who were, with all the storms that were happening. When was that? 4 months ago. And there's ways that we could connect in with the storm and receive from it, because everything's energy and everything has a wisdom if we come at it not from fear, but from this knowing, I am here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. How are we working together? What are we fighting against? Yes, the hurricanes last fall. Time just goes so quick, doesn't it? I remember once being years ago, so when I'd first learnt Reiki, so like it was like 2009 or something, being on a boat, it's like the only cruise I've ever been on, right? And there was one night, it was really rocky, really, like, that's not the right word, turbulent, that's not the right word either. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God. And I got really scared. And at the time I was reading The Power of Now. Who's read that? Yeah, Eckhart Tolle. The Power of Now. And I was reading that book, and I just remember sitting in there and going, okay. And like, while like all, everything was like being thrown around the cabin. And I found this, that storm helped me cultivate a stillness, which had that storm not have happened, I wouldn't have been able to make practical use of that book in that moment. I was on holiday, so everything was fine, right? And I remember sitting in there, and I remember receiving that kind of wisdom even then. This is happening to help you find that stillness. And I'm like, okay, well, can we stop now? Because now I found my stillness. And it didn't, it did eventually stop, but it didn't. And it's here, and for me, it's about you activating all of that. And that's what I'm here for. And whether you want to join Soul Space, whether you want to come and work with me one-to-one, I do also have Holy Fire Reiki teacher training starting in a few weeks. If you're interested in that, just talk. I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but just reach out to me. When you just said come as you are, you haven't worn it in months. Oh, my t-shirt today was Nirvana, come as you are. Oh, I love Nirvana. They're one of my faves. Um, he started a Power Now years ago. Also, Esther and Jerry Hicks, Ask and You Shall Receive. I love all of it. My joy is sharing it. bringing my and into it. That is what I do. If you're feeling aligned, if you're feeling called, if you're like, this is the thing for me, just reach out to me. What I want for you is everything that we've been sharing. What I want for you is to lead that limitless life. And I know that each and every one of you who have spent 3 hours with me, that's what it's been, over the last 2 days, plus whatever you've been doing in the group and the conversations you've been having. I know that you have a limitless future, present, current available to you. This 5 steps, all you need to do is follow that. That's it. You follow those 5 steps, you'll be there. And you'll come to me in a year's time and you'll be like, Mel, I can't believe how my life has changed. If you can do it on your own, go for it. If you think you need some help, that's what I'm here for. Okay. Andrew said, thank you. I love your energy. I love yours too. And wisdom, giving me a lot to think about and work through. Well, you're very welcome then. Yes, I'm looking forward to the Holy Fire teacher training too. Okay. I will be in the Facebook group this week. If you've got any questions, anything comes up, pop it in there. I will be sharing this framework. I might not do it tonight, I might do it tomorrow just because I'm tired. Thanks lots to integrate. You're welcome, Sarah. And let's also all of us send love to Jacqueline. I know Robin in the group is also in Brisbane and she's been showing me about this. So can we just all just, if you've got 1 minute, can we just send some energy, some healing to Brisbane, to that hurricane or not, to the people that are there, to the animals, to the trees. And to anyone in the world that needs it, but let's bring Brisbane there in the focus because it's come to me twice today. And just imagine all of your stars shining really, really bright, and then just sending like a shoot off of energy into that space. And if you've got any intentions, maybe it's for peace or stillness or wisdom, healing, just whatever comes, just let that be and let that feed in. And we're going to send that up to source and some other nature and trust that what needs to happen will happen, and that our limitless self is always there for us. Okay, on that note, it was awesome to see you too. On that note, I will leave you all to enjoy your evening, and thank you so much. Remember, I have got a prize draw going on. If you share this, even if it's afterwards, I'm going to be pulling 2 names, one from yesterday, one for today. Just share the video, make sure you tag me, you will be in the list. And I've got something very cool for you, which I'll share in the Limitless group when I put it. Okay, you're all amazing. Thank you for being here. I'll see you all soon. Bye bye bye.